The president did come back, launching an unprecedented attack on the Supreme Court justices, calling them a disgrace.
You need to understand what I'm about to tell you, because this story is so insane, so layered, and so potentially explosive that I had to triple-check my sources before I even started writing this script. We're talking about a classified tariff evasion conspiracy allegedly blown wide open by an anonymous whistleblower. We're talking about billions, with a B, in illegal Chinese goods reportedly flooding into America through phantom shell companies that exist only on paper. We're talking about leaked documents that suggest high-level government officials were secretly protecting the entire operation. And we're talking about FBI raids that are supposedly already happening, while megacorporations are allegedly destroying evidence as we speak. I'm not joking. If even half of this is true, we could be looking at the biggest economic scandal in American history, and nobody is talking about it. Until now. This is Shadow Signal. Let's get into it. The whistleblower. So here's where it starts. Sometime in late 2024, an anonymous source, we'll call them the whistleblower because that's what they are, allegedly handed over a mountain of classified documents to federal investigators. We're not talking about some disgruntled employee with a grudge. We're talking about someone with deep access to international shipping manifests, customs clearance records, and internal communications from companies you've definitely heard of. The documents reportedly detail a massive coordinated scheme to evade the tariffs that the U.S. government slapped on Chinese goods starting back in 2018. Remember those tariffs? They were supposed to level the playing field. They were supposed to protect American manufacturing. They were supposed to make it expensive to flood our markets with cheap Chinese products. Well, according to this whistleblower, certain corporations found a workaround, and not just a small workaround, a multi-billion-dollar workaround that allegedly operated in plain sight for years. But here's the kicker. The whistleblower claims they tried to report this internally first, multiple times, and every single time they were shut down, transferred, threatened, until they finally went outside the system entirely. That's when things got interesting. The phantom shell companies. Okay, deep breath, because this is where it gets technical. But stay with me. The way tariff evasion allegedly works in this scheme is through something called transshipment fraud. Here's the simple version. You have Chinese goods that are supposed to be hit with a 25% tariff when they enter the United States. That's a lot of money. So instead of shipping directly from China to America, you route the goods through a third country, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, wherever, and you slap a new label on them. Now they're Vietnamese goods or Malaysian goods, and those countries have much lower tariff rates, sometimes zero. It's illegal, it's fraud, but it's incredibly hard to catch if you do it right. And according to these leaked documents, certain corporations didn't just dabble in transshipment fraud. They allegedly industrialized it. They reportedly set up dozens, some reports say hundreds, of phantom shell companies in Southeast Asia. Companies that exist only on paper. No employees, no factories, no physical presence whatsoever. Just a mailbox and a bank account. These shell companies would allegedly receive Chinese goods, generate fake certificates of origin, and ship them to America as if they were locally manufactured. Billions of dollars worth. Year after year. Let me say that again. Billions. And the profit margins? Insane. If you're supposed to pay a 25% tariff on $100 million of goods, that's $25 million you owe. If you can fake your way around that tariff, that $25 million goes straight into your pocket. Now multiply that by hundreds of shipments, thousands of shipments, over multiple years. We're not talking about pocket change. We're talking about the kind of money that can buy silence. The kind of money that can buy protection. The protection racket. This is where the story goes from financial crime to potential political scandal. According to the whistleblower's documents, and I need to emphasize these are allegations, nothing has been proven in court, certain high-level government officials were not just aware of the scheme, they were allegedly protecting it. How? Through selective enforcement, through warning calls before inspections, through mysteriously lost paperwork, through career-ending retaliation against anyone who asked too many questions. The documents reportedly name names. I'm not going to repeat them here because I don't want to get sued into oblivion, but let's just say some of these names would make your jaw hit the floor. We're talking about people who went on television and talked about cracking down on Chinese trade violations while allegedly running interference for the exact corporations committing those violations. It's infuriating. It's the kind of two-faced corruption that makes you want to throw your phone across the room. And the alleged motive? Campaign contributions. Lobbying jobs after leaving government, board seats, consulting contracts, the usual revolving door garbage that makes people lose faith in the entire system. But here's what really gets me. If this is true, it means that while American manufacturers were struggling to compete, while factories were closing, while workers were losing their jobs, the very people who were supposed to protect them were allegedly helping their competitors cheat. It's devastating. The raids. Now we get to the part that's happening right now. According to multiple reports, and again, much of this is still emerging, FBI agents have allegedly begun executing search warrants at corporate offices, warehouses, and even private residences connected to the scheme. We're talking about pre-dawn raids, agents in tactical gear, the whole thing. Some of these raids have reportedly been confirmed, others are still in the rumor stage. But the pattern is clear. Federal investigators are taking this seriously. Very seriously. And the corporations allegedly involved? They're reportedly in full panic mode. There are whispers, and I need to stress these are unconfirmed whispers, that certain companies are destroying evidence as fast as they can, shredding documents, wiping servers, firing employees who know too much and paying them off with massive severance packages that include ironclad non-disclosure agreements. If true, that's obstruction of justice. That's a whole separate crime on top of the original fraud. It's like watching someone dig themselves deeper and deeper into a hole. But here's the thing. In the digital age, nothing is ever truly deleted. Forensic accountants can reconstruct financial records from fragments. Emails live on backup servers. Text messages can be recovered. And whistleblowers have a habit of keeping copies of everything. The walls are closing in. Why this matters? Okay, let me zoom out for a second because I know some of you are thinking, this is interesting, but why should I care about some corporate fraud scheme? Here's why. This isn't just about tariffs. This is about whether the rules apply to everyone or just to regular people. This is about whether corporations can buy their way out of accountability. This is about whether the system actually works. Because if major corporations can allegedly evade billions in tariffs for years, and if government officials can allegedly protect them while doing it, then what's the point of having rules at all? What's the point of having tariffs? What's the point of having customs enforcement? It makes the entire system look like a joke. And the people who pay the price aren't the executives. It's the American workers who lost jobs because they couldn't compete with artificially cheap imports. It's the small businesses that played by the rules and got crushed. It's you and me paying higher prices because legitimate importers have to cover the costs that the cheaters avoided. This is why people are angry. This is why trust in institutions is collapsing, because stories like this, if true, confirm every cynical suspicion that the game is rigged. What happens next? So where does this go from here? If the whistleblower's documents hold up, we could see criminal indictments. We could see executives in handcuffs. We could see congressional hearings. We could see the kind of accountability that almost never happens at this level. Or, and this is the pessimistic take, we could see it all quietly buried. Settlements with no admission of guilt. Scapegoats taking the fall while the real decision-makers walk away. A few slaps on the wrist, and then business as usual. I honestly don't know which way this goes, but I do know that sunlight is the best disinfectant. The more people know about this story, the harder it becomes to sweep under the rug. That's why I made this video. That's why you need to share it. Final thoughts. Look, I want to be clear about something. A lot of what I've discussed today is based on allegations from leaked documents. Nothing has been proven in court. People are innocent until proven guilty. I get that. But the sheer scale of what's being alleged, the billions of dollars, the phantom companies, the alleged government protection, it demands attention, it demands investigation, it demands answers. And if it turns out to be true, if even a fraction of this holds up, it changes everything. It means the tariff system we were told would protect American workers was being gutted from the inside by the very people who were supposed to enforce it. It means we've been played. So here's my question for you. Do you think this gets buried like so many other scandals? Or do you think this is finally the one that breaks through? Drop your take in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. If this video made you feel something, anger, curiosity, frustration, whatever, smash that like button. It tells the algorithm that people want to see this kind of content. And subscribe to Shadow Signal if you want to stay ahead of stories like this before they hit the mainstream. I'm out. Peace.